My dear brothers and sisters, come, gather close, and let us walk together through the ancient stones of Jerusalem, to a place where heaven and earth seem to touch. There, set within the weathered walls of the holy city, stands a sealed gate, silent yet shouting with the hopes of ages. This is the Golden Gate, the gate of mercy, a threshold not merely of stone, but of the human heart's deepest longings. For centuries, it has stood closed, its arches holding back not just passage, but the dreams, prayers, and promises of millions. Why does this gate stir the soul so profoundly? What mysteries lie behind its sealed stones? And what does it whisper to us today about hope, faith, and the divine promise? Before we embark on this sacred journey, I invite you to open your hearts, to listen with the ears of faith, and to join me in exploring a story that binds us to the eternal. Let us begin. In the heart of Jerusalem, where the ancient and the divine intertwine, the Golden Gate stands as a sentinel of time and faith. It is no ordinary entrance. Carved into the eastern wall of the old city, it faces the Mount of Olives, a hill drenched in sacred history, where prophets walked and divine promises were spoken. This is not a random alignment. The gate's position is a silent hymn, sung in stone, pointing to the prophecies that have shaped the faiths of Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. For the Jewish people, it is the path through which the Messiah will one day come, descending from the Mount of Olives to bring redemption and peace. The book of Zechariah, that ancient voice of hope, speaks of a king who comes gentle and riding on a donkey, entering through this very gate to fulfill God's covenant with his people. For Christians, this gate echoes with the memory of Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem, celebrated each Palm Sunday, when he rode humbly through these arches, heralding a kingdom not of this world. And in Islam, the gate's proximity to the Al-Aqsa Mosque, one of the holiest sites, ties it to the sacred geography of the Day of Judgment, where divine justice will unfold. This gate, my friends, is more than stone. It is a crossroads of belief, a place where three great traditions meet, each seeing in its silent arches a reflection of their deepest hopes. Yet why does this gate stand sealed? Why, for nearly 5 centuries, has it remained closed, its stones unmoved by human hands? To answer this, we must travel back through the layers of history, peeling back time like the pages of a sacred text. The Golden Gate, as we see it today, bears the marks of the Byzantine era, crafted in the 6th or 7th century. But beneath its visible arches lie older foundations, perhaps from the time of Solomon's first temple or Herod's grand second temple. These were the days when Jerusalem pulsed as the heart of worship, when pilgrims flocked to its courts, and prophets spoke of a future filled with divine glory. The gate was not merely a passage but a threshold of promise. In the Byzantine period, Christian rulers rebuilt it, naming it golden not for its appearance but for its heavenly significance, a doorway where Christ had passed and would one day return. Jewish writings, from the Midrash to the Talmud, speak of an eastern gate that would remain shut until the Messiah's arrival, a prophecy rooted in the book of Ezekiel, which declares that this gate shall stay closed because the Lord, the God of Israel, has entered through it. This is no mere wall, my dear friends. It is a canvas of faith, painted with the hopes of generations, sealed not just by stone, but by the weight of divine expectation. Let us now turn our gaze to the year 1541, a moment when history took a decisive turn for the Golden Gate. Under the rule of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, the Ottoman Empire stretched across continents, its power reshaping the lands it touched. Jerusalem, the sacred city, was no exception. Suleiman, a ruler of vision and ambition, poured his heart into restoring the city's crumbling walls, fortifying its gates, and breathing new life into its holy places. Yet, among his many acts, one stands out as both mysterious and profound: the sealing of the Golden Gate. With a command, he ordered its arches to be bricked up, its passage closed, not with mere stone, but with a purpose that echoed beyond the physical. Why, my dear friends, would a ruler of such might choose to seal a gate so steeped in prophecy? Some historians suggest that Suleiman understood the gate's messianic weight. For the Jewish people, the Messiah's arrival through this gate could spark a spiritual awakening, perhaps even a challenge to earthly authority. To seal it was to assert control not only over stone but over the very hopes tied to it. And yet, Suleiman's actions went further. Before the gate, he ordered a Muslim cemetery to be established, a sacred resting place that, under Jewish law, would render priests ritually impure, unable to approach. This was no mere act of construction. It was a gesture of power, a barrier woven into the fabric of faith itself. In this single act, we see the dance of human ambition and divine promise, a reminder that even the mightiest rulers stand in the shadow of God's eternal plan. As we stand before the sealed gate, let us reflect on its meaning across the centuries. The Golden Gate is not merely a relic of the past. It is a mirror reflecting the shared dreams of three great faiths. For the Jewish people, it is the sacred threshold through which the Messiah will enter, rebuilding the temple and ushering in an era of peace. The prophets spoke of this day, when the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. For Christians, the gate is a living memory of Jesus' entry into Jerusalem, a moment when he fulfilled the words of Zechariah and revealed himself as the humble king. It is also a promise of his return, when, as the gospel assures us, he will come again in glory. In Islam, the gate's place within the sacred precincts of Jerusalem, near the revered Al-Aqsa Mosque, ties it to the day of judgment, when divine justice will prevail. My brothers and sisters, what moves me most is how this single gate, sealed and silent, unites us in our longing for the divine. Yet it also challenges us. Too often, these shared hopes have sparked not unity but division, as human hands have sought to claim the sacred for themselves. The Golden Gate calls us to a higher path, to seek peace, to honor the faith of others, and to trust in God's timing for the fulfillment of his promises. The sealing of the Golden Gate, far from diminishing its power, has only deepened its mystery. Over the centuries, it has become a focal point of both reverence and tension. In the modern era, the gate has stirred hearts and ignited conflicts. Some have sought to reopen it, driven by zeal or hope, believing that its opening might hasten the divine promise. Others have stood watch over it, guarding its sanctity or its political weight. Israeli authorities, Muslim custodians, and international voices all keep a careful eye on this sacred threshold. For it is more than a gate. It is a symbol that shapes the destiny of a city and a world. The cemetery before it, the stones within it, the prophecies surrounding it, all speak to the delicate balance of faith and power in Jerusalem. Yet, even amid tension, there is hope. Archaeologists, with reverence and care, have studied the gate's foundations, using tools like ground-penetrating radar to uncover its secrets without disturbing its sanctity. Their findings whisper of a history stretching back over 2 millennia, perhaps to the days of Solomon or Herod, when this gate stood at the heart of a vibrant, sacred Jerusalem. In its silence, the Golden Gate teaches us patience, urging us to seek understanding over conflict, and to trust that God's plan unfolds in his time, not ours. As we linger before the Golden Gate, let us pause to consider its enduring power as a symbol of hope and longing. This is no mere relic of stone, my dear friends, but a testament to the human heart's unyielding desire for the divine. For the Jewish people, it stands as a promise etched in prophecy, a doorway through which the Messiah will bring healing to a fractured world. The words of Isaiah echo here: "They shall call you the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel." For Christians, it is a sacred echo of Christ's humble entry and a beacon of his promised return, when, as the book of Revelation proclaims, he will wipe every tear from their eyes. For Muslims, its place within the holy precincts of Jerusalem speaks to the day of judgment, when truth and justice will prevail, as foretold in the sacred traditions. Yet, what strikes me most deeply is how this gate, sealed for centuries, unites us in our shared yearning for a world made whole. It reminds us that our faiths, though distinct, are bound by a common hope, a hope for peace, for redemption, for a time when division gives way to harmony. The Golden Gate challenges us to look beyond our differences, to see in one another the image of God, and to work together for a world that reflects his love. In its silence, it speaks of patience, of trust in divine timing, and of the call to prepare our hearts for what is to come. But the Golden Gate is not only a symbol of hope, it is also a call to action. In a city where faith and history have so often clashed, this gate stands as a reminder of our responsibility to build bridges rather than walls. Its sealed stones have witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the fervor of pilgrims, and the struggles of those who sought to claim its promise for their own. Today, it remains a flashpoint, watched closely by those who guard its sanctity and those who seek its secrets. There have been moments when human hands, driven by zeal or division, have sought to force its opening, to hasten what only God can fulfill. Yet, my brothers and sisters, the true opening of the Golden Gate lies not in breaking its stones, but in opening our hearts. It calls us to humility, to dialogue, to the sacred work of reconciliation. In Jerusalem, where the weight of history presses heavily, the gate invites us to dream of a future where peace prevails. It asks us to pray, as Jesus taught us, "Thy kingdom come," and to live as if that prayer is already being answered. Let us be builders of peace, bearers of hope, and witnesses to the love that transcends every barrier. The Golden Gate, though sealed, is a doorway to this vision, a vision of a world renewed by faith and love. And so, we come to the end of our journey, standing before the silent arches of the Golden Gate. As the sun sets over Jerusalem, casting its golden light upon these ancient stones, we are reminded that this gate is more than a monument. It is a threshold to eternity, a place where the human and the divine meet, where the past whispers to the future. Will it open one day? For some, its opening will mark the arrival of the Messiah, the return of Christ, or the unfolding of divine judgment. For others, it is a symbol of the peace we are called to build here and now. Whatever our beliefs, the Golden Gate speaks to us all. It tells of a God who is faithful, who keeps his promises, and who invites us to trust in his plan. It reminds us that even in a world of conflict, there is a hope that endures, a light that cannot be extinguished. My dear friends, as we leave this sacred place, let us carry its message in our hearts. Let us be people of hope, people of peace, people who live for the day when all walls fall and all hearts are open to God's love. I invite you to join me in this journey of faith, to subscribe to this channel, where we explore the sacred stories that connect us to the divine. Stay curious, stay prayerful, and until we meet again, may the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guard your hearts and minds. Amen.